Hey, yo, see Red Nation, what's good? Breeze Nation, what's good? We back in the building yet again. You already know who it is. Your boy, Pat the Designer, joined by the pettiest man alive, Mr. Petty Casanova. Ayo, Chicago, what's good? Make sure you like
What's
the
good?
video.
What's good? What's good?
We do talk Chicago sports weekly, the only channel to talk Chicago sports, how Chicago talks. So get in tune with us. Hey, yo, Petty, what's good, man? What's going on with you down there, PK?
Man, how you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling pretty good today, man. I'm feeling pretty good. You know why? Because for once, listen, we got Bears content coming out. So I said, I'm not going to just bombard y'all with Bears content this week, right? Because for once, I'm ready to talk some basketball.
Hey.
I am ready to talk some basketball. See Red Nation. Are we ready to talk some basketball? Like the video if you're ready to talk some basketball, man. Let's get into it. And we want to hear from y'all, man. The question on the docket today, and I think that this is a excellent question because I'm more on the skeptical side. I feel like Petty's kind of going all the way in on this Bulls team. Shout out to him for doubling down on it. Hey, yo, are the Chicago Bulls a 50-win team? Are the Chicago Bulls a 50, and not just a 50 win, a 50+ win team?
Listen, how can they not be? Give me a reason why they can't be. Tell me where they're deficient now. Like you saw what our team was before.
Yeah.
Everyone that we asked for, we got.
Yeah.
Like legitimately. We talked about Lonzo. He's on the goddamn poster. We
Yeah.
talk about DeMar. He's on the goddamn poster.
Yep.
We got a legit big man, all-star big man. We have legitimately 3, maybe 4 all-stars.
I would say you have 4 all-stars. Absolutely. I would absolutely say you have 4 all-stars. But well, Lonzo's the one that's potential to me. And if you guys want to call in, man, chime into it. Call into the show 855-908-5668. The Contender phone lines are open to Contender, where you can find constant sports talk right now, just Chicago and DC, but you can check out the app where there's constant sports talk, constant times where you can hear me, Kid, John Zagul here over in Chicago. We're talking so much Chicago sports on the app that is crazy right now. Y'all get in tune with it. Call into the show. Like I said, the thing that is here is to me the biggest, not so much even a concern, right? It's just the fact, shout out for the super chat. We getting the super chats early. There forever. The thing for me that's interesting with it, right, is we're talking about honestly, let's say they play a full 82. What did we get? 4 more games last season, probably. So we end up with 35 wins, 4 or 5 more games. We might end up with 35 wins, 35, 36 wins. You're talking about in an 82 game season, a 20 to, I'm hearing people talk about a 20 to 24 game jump. And you just don't see a lot of teams do that, even when they add a ton of talent in. Now, I think that you do see they take that next step, they get to that next level. Not saying they won't be a top 5 team, not saying that they won't compete. But when we're talking about 50 wins, let's break down what 50 wins really is in the Eastern Conference. Don Burr in here. Don Burr comes into every Chicago Bulls chat and comes with his talk, man. I credit him, man. I credit him. Let's talk about what a 50-win season is. You're talking about possibly a top 3 team in the Eastern Conference. Are we sure that the Bulls are there yet? Are we sure that, and I'm talking about, yes, we saw the preseason. We saw how excited we all have to be about it. But are we sure that at the beginning of the season, not saying at the end of the season, they won't gel together quickly, they won't start making things happen, not saying by then we won't be one of those top 3 teams, but are we sure that at the beginning of the season, this team right now is ready to go up and claim as a top team in the Eastern Conference?
Listen, the one thing I keep telling people is this. We have to realize when we got our center, when we got Vooch, how much time they had to play.
Yeah.
Like we made major changes with no real opportunity for them to gel and learn the system. And then they played, I think Zach and Vooch played how many games together? They played less than 20 games together.
Zach and Vooch played like probably less than 20 games because Zach ended up getting hit with COVID last season. So yeah,
they played less than 20 games together. Yeah. You got all of that going on. And, Billy D's first year as head coach, all of that stuff is there with no real offseason, no real practice because of COVID and stuff like that. Right. At this point, with everyone starting at square one with a legit big man, with a legit point guard who we absolutely need to get our star off the ball, how could you not be? There's not. If you look at our roster right now and you compare it to the Sixers, who are a top 4 team, we're better than the Sixers. You compare it to Atlanta, we're better than Atlanta. You compare it to the Knicks, who are a top 6 team, we're better than the Knicks. We're better than the Pacers. Like any of those teams that I just named, do you really feel like we're not better than, or you feel like they're that much better than us? You can't say that.
I don't think that they're that much better than us. I'll say this. To
I
me,
didn't say Milwaukee. I didn't say the Nets.
yeah,
But anyway,
no. To me, you have to look at it as a are they a top team with that player that does take them to that next level? I think Zach LaVine is a superstar player right now, but I do have to take in consideration that he couldn't do it. He couldn't get his team to the top of the Eastern Conference or even in the playoff contention. Forget the top, even in the playoff contention without help. Now he has the help. You have to take that into account. But is he that guy? Do the Bulls have that guy that puts them in a position where no matter what, because injuries are going to come. COVID is still out there apparently, as people seem to have forgotten. There's still going to be some instances where things pop up this season. There's going to have to be that guy that does step up, that does take it to that next level, that does take it to the I'm going to put us in that next upper echelon of player. Can Zach LaVine be that guy that puts us there? And I mean, if we're looking at the schedule,
I don't think Zach does it. I think Lonzo Ball and DeMar do it. I don't need Zach to be the guy who facilitates everything. I need him to go out and do what he set out to do. He wanted to be the best in the league. He wanted to win MVP. All right, go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Go ahead and do it. The person I need to really orchestrate this and make sure the ball gets to the right people at the right time is my point guard.
Yeah.
I need my point guard to do it, and I absolutely need DeMar DeRozan to pick up the slack on the scoring tip when Zach is off. And those are the things we needed. When we couldn't have someone else outside of Vooch, score, we were like, where's this offense going to come from? Is Kobe White going to do it? Is he going to take the lead? I don't need Kobe White to do that anymore. And this is not a Kobe White hate moment. It's like DeMar DeRozan is a better player than Kobe White.
Yeah.
Guess what? I'm comfortable with Zach LaVine being off the floor with DeMar DeRozan being my two guard or playing that two guard position. Absolutely.
Right. I'm not. I mean, listen. Let's look at this schedule just starting off. We start off with the Pistons. Dub, get out of here, Don Burr. Pelicans.
Who is that? Who? Why?
Luka is the best player in the league right now. Interesting take there, my boy.
Luka barely gets mentioned in the top 10, although he should. But
I was going to say, come on now, that's disrespectful. That's disrespectful to him, though.
Hey, I can name 10 players before I get to Luka.
I don't know if I can do that. But let's look at this Bulls schedule starting off. I mean, your first 6. I'm gonna be honest with you. I see one team that you might for sure lose to, and there is a question mark on it. Pistons, Pelicans. To me, Bulls are better than the Pelicans. Pistons again. We could start off 3-0. Absolutely. The Raptors, who are basically rebuilding right now. Then you got the Knicks, who that's a possible loss. I'm not gonna lie to you because Tom Thibodeau's not gonna just let that Bulls logo. Not gonna see that Bulls logo and not scheme.
Tom can take 2 seats.
You said what?
Tom could take 2 seats. Go
ahead. Hey, listen. Tom's still one of the best defensive minds in the NBA. And then you got the Utah Jazz. That's your first 6. Opportunity to start off 4-2, 5-1, somewhere in there. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be real with you. But then it gets tough. Your next 4, Celtics. Man, okay, all right. They're playoff team in the East. Celtics, Sixers.
The Celtics are no longer a playoff team in the East. Whoa. Let me. They're no longer a top playoff.
No, they're not. They're not a top 5 team. They're not a top 5 team. The 76ers twice. The Nets, the Mavericks, the Warriors who are revamped, the Clippers, the Lakers, the Blazers, the Nuggets, the Knicks. How are you going to? That's why I'm saying like this has to gel. We're
the
talking
only
about
team you mentioned that I was worried about is the Blazers.
Really?
I'm not worried about LA.
You're not worried about the Warriors.
I'm not worried about the Warriors.
Not worried about the Sixers.
You want to know why I'm not worried about the Warriors?
Yeah.
The average height in our starting lineup is 6'6".
Yeah, but it's not much taller than that.
Yeah, that's but Steph is 6'3", and if
that's
you play,
the problem.
It's
not much taller. Not to say that. I mean, that's where the league is going. You know what I'm saying? I don't look at our team and say it's about the height. I look at our team and say it's about the wingspan.
The
You
wingspan
got
on
nothing but wingspan on this team. Derrick Jones Jr., Patrick Williams, you know what I'm saying? Like there's mad wingspan on this
we
team.
can definitely defend the Warriors. We can
Yeah.
definitely defend the Clippers. We could definitely because they don't have Kawhi, although Paul George still does his thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm not just trying to be a diehard Bulls fan, but like we have a legitimate squad.
No, I
We
agree.
got a legit squad.
My question is, how long is it going to take this squad versus real competition? We can be as excited as we want about preseason. I'm not putting a damper on any of that. Y'all saw me in here going nuts as we blew out the Cavaliers. Like a team you're supposed to beat. I'm sitting here losing my mind over. Larry Markkinen gets dunked on. Give him the bucket. He shouldn't have never been here in
Give
the
them two
first
of
place.
those.
You know what I'm saying? But to a two guard, dog. To a two guard. He like 6'3". Hey, this is the disrespectful part about it. It was a vert dunk. Like it wasn't
So
like he
straight
goes
up, just yammed on him.
straight up, and Larry blocked the first one and just was too weak to get the second one. But I mean, when do the Bulls gel? Usually it takes 10 to 15 games to gel. At 10 to 15 games, we're talking about. I mean, you start off very easily. Hopefully that does help you. But when you start facing that tough competition after 6 games, you're talking about teams that are playoff teams right now that you're going to see.
I love
And
this comment.
that have finals behind their name, that have East the teams that are already at where you want to be. You know what I'm saying? And so to me, like it's not a matter of is this team going to be bad? I don't think they're going to be bad. I still think they're going to be a top 5 team in the East. But to win 50 games, you have to start winning at the beginning of the season. You have to come out and be through your first 25 games, you probably got to win what 17, 18 of those to finish the season at a 50 win season.
Several teams have won 20 in a row or 18 out of
That would be
20.
crazy. Could you imagine the lives if we win 20 in a row?
Oh, listen, it'll be now. I'm not saying that we were looking at the schedule, and I got to pull up the schedule for myself so I know
Yeah.
exactly what I'm talking about. But here's the thing. I like this comment here. Said, boy, it was stupid. I like that. Think I ain't see it. I saw it. Caught you. Check this out. I'm not putting any credit on a team that's dependent on someone who's coming off of 2 potentially career-ending injuries.
Yeah.
And expect them to be out the gate first 10, 15 games the same person he was.
No.
Take 2 seats for that.
No.
Draymond Green is a worse addition to your team than Ben Simmons. If you want to look at production and stuff like that, take 2 seats for that. Steph can go. Hey, listen, I would literally box in one Steph. Let Steph go off. Do whatever you want to do. But the rest of that team is going to absolutely have to gel around the person. I'm not worried about them. I'm not worried about the Lakers right now. It's going to take. It's too much talent on that team and too many people trying to rebuild and change their narratives. Guess what?
There's a lot of people that are also rebuilding their team. There's a lot of people that are trying to put pieces back in place. I'm not saying that the Bulls are the only one, but the difference with a lot of those teams is, listen, the Warriors are a team that have been together. It's not going to take them as long as the Bulls are.
It's not going to take them as long
to jail because, listen, Steph and Clay know how to play with each other. And Clay wasn't a dude that was running up and down the court anyway. On the defensive end, you may take a hit, but when we're talking about Klay Thompson, on the offensive end, Clay's game was to stand there and shoot. He drops 50 on the Bulls. He took 4 dribbles the whole game.
Let's be honest. You just from the rosters we see.
Yeah.
Are you worried about the Warriors right now? You're not worried about them right now. You want to see them in rhythm. Rolling.
Hey, Jordan Poole looked like a player, though. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Rolling, that's a different team, different monster. I'm not worried. We don't play our first game against them. I'm not expecting them to be rolling. That's what you got to understand. I'm expecting them to try to get to ramp up. I'm not expecting any of these new additions with all these superstars to be rolling. The only reason why this fits so perfectly and why I'm confident that the Bulls can, because Lonzo was not that guy looking to come in and take a bunch of shots. He's absolutely looking to play D and take what's given to him. DeMar DeRozan fits a need that we had. We need that.
Yeah.
Vooch, we needed that. If you look at the construction of all these other teams, did the Lakers really need Russ?
Yes.
I don't think so.
The Lakers had no one who, see, to me, when I looked at the Lakers last year, and we want to hear from you as well. I saw Robert Schwartz, you dropped off. I don't know if you want to call back in, man. I was about to get to you. Call back in 855-908-5668. The Lakers, to me, were missing a personality that was going to tell LeBron, go stand over there and let me facilitate. Rondo is not a starting point guard on that team for some reason because they had Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder was going to bend his will to whatever LeBron was going to do. Russ is going to come in there. Russ to me is the addition they needed because Russ is going to come in there and he's going to say, listen, go stand over there. You go be in the post or you go be there because I'm going to get you the ball. If it's coming up, if I'm driving, you're going to get the ball. Russ to me is the reason that Carmelo Anthony works for that team because Carmelo Anthony can be like, hey, go. You can tell Carmelo, go stand over there and be a spot up shooter. That's what you are now.
Melo is absolutely not taking that from
Hey,
Russ,
listen,
but he may take that from Rondo.
Look,
That's why I'm saying you
you
don't need
have
Russ to make that team work.
You need that personality of aggressiveness, and I've got the numbers to back it up to say, yeah, no, I'm getting busy out here. Like it's not like it's to me, Rondo's a starting point is great, but Rondo is, hey, listen, dude, I get you putting us in the right position, but you're putting up 8 points a game. You really can't tell me how to score.
Rondo's 8 points a game at times is more efficient and impactful than a Russ triple-double.
Never.
Because he plays the position better.
Never. His impact.
In the playoffs, if I have Rondo or Russ on my team and I got to start a point guard, depending on who else is on my team, I'm struggling to put Russ in the game.
Russell Westbrook. I keep telling Muggs, look at what that mug does when he puts up a triple-double.
Okay, look at what he does when he puts up a triple-double, but look at the impact that it has when it comes to actual good playoff wins. It's no impact.
Yeah, I mean
there's no impact.
I'll give you that. I will say that.
He could sit there and do all of that. He could sit there and put up a triple-double for all 82 games. It doesn't matter. We're in the playoffs now, and that triple-double does not have it doesn't translate to wins in the playoffs. It doesn't. The statistics show it doesn't.
The statistics do. The statistics do show it doesn't. But
the statistics show that Rondo is absolutely a better point guard in the playoffs than Russell Westbrook. It does.
Well, I mean, he's got a finals under his belt.
It's not just the finals. It's just look at all the teams.
Listen, let's talk about what it is. Like we always want to shit like no. He was a major part of a finals team. That's more.
No, that's not what. Listen, look at what he did. Look at what he did in New Orleans.
Actually, he was a major part of 2 finals teams.
Look at what he did. Look at what he did in New Orleans.
What he did in New Orleans, and that's what I'm saying. Like you have to. It has to work with what you got. I think AD and Rondo and Boogie work because
Rondo is you're right. He does have 2 finals. He also has 2 rings. He was on the Lakers team that won.
That's why I said he's got 2 finals, but he wasn't as impactful in the finals. They didn't really use. I think he was hurt in the finals for the Lakers. I don't remember
in the finals, but during the playoff run, they absolutely started him.
Yeah, no, they were starting him, but I think in the finals he was hurt. Let's go out to the phone lines, man. We got Ricky Fontaine on the line calling in about the Bulls. I see Ricky in the chat all the time, man. Ricky calling in. What's going on, Ricky? How you feeling, my boy?
Good, Rick?
I'm doing good. How y'all brothers doing today?
Man, we chilling, man. Talking to little Bulls. What's on your mind, my boy?
Oh, I agree with P Kid as usual. I think we're gonna be somewhere around like 48 to 50 wins.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is my reasons. I think this is the first team in the NBA that Billy Donovan has wanted. Because granted, the Thunder, he got gifted 2 gifts of nuclear weapons with Russ and Durant, but I don't know about the other team.
And Paul George.
The rest of the team on there. And with the Bulls, when they came and got Billy, like they told him it was a partnership. So the roster is getting what he wants. And if you actually look at what the team was, he coached in Florida with Noah, ironically, and Horford and all them. It was a bunch of long wingspan people that could run around and get a 3-point line and chase people around like that. So his sets are now managed to the people that he has now that he's accustomed to. So with the roster that we have now, like everybody, our problems, I think are answered. Which was playmaking, getting to the free throw line, and defensive on the point guard, so we can fight because they fighting through screens now, which is what Lonzo and Caruso is doing, fighting through the screens. That DeMar helps through the free throw line abilities.
Yeah.
So a lot of our holes are filled up. So it's just all about the jail and everything.
And that's the important part, though. How long do you think it's going to take them to jail? I'm not saying that they're not going to be a good team. I don't want people to think that, but we got a lot of tough games in your first 20.
I don't think it's going to take so long because there's no type of selfishness going on right now. Like everybody on this team is actually wanting to win. You see the camaraderie.
Yeah.
You could just tell just watching through training camp, like everybody just smiling and happy, like nobody trying to be the alpha right now.
Yeah.
Like we know Zach is the guy, but there's no type of egos going on. So I think we got a lot of right play guys. Like people are all here to make the right play.
Good point, Ricky. Good point.
So the deal is going to take too long.
I give you that one.
So like DeMar makes the right plays. Like you see what Caruso doing. Like when he come in lane, he is killing people with these no look misdirection passes.
He is.
Like, and we all know Lonzo. He don't care what his stat sheet says. He wants to win. He's going to make the right play every time.
Yeah.
And then it's just like in the fourth quarter, Zach or DeMar, whoever is on, can bring us home because they're just that type of dynamic type of scorers. Like you could just go to DeMar in the post sometimes when we go dry. You can go to Vooch sometimes when we just go dry. Like everybody on there, we got 4 playmakers out of 5 people when we ain't even talking about Pat yet.
Absolutely, man. Great points there, Ricky. Appreciate you for calling in, man. Really, really great points. Really great call. Appreciate you for calling in, man.
You too.
Have a good one, bro.
Yes,
man, I mean, really great point. I will say this, and and please call into the show 855-908-5668. We really want to hear from y'all, man. We hear from the Bulls fans, the Bulls Nation, See Red Nation. We out here. I really want to shout out to the super chat. So, what are you guys NBA Finals matches? And if you include the Bulls, I'm totally okay with that. I got to see what I haven't even looked at the entire league yet. I got to see what the rest of the league is doing before I go NBA.
You know what? I'm gonna answer your question directly. I'm going to start with saying that I got Bulls and Nets going ECF.
To the Eastern Conference Finals?
Yep. I got Bulls and Nets in ECF.
I'm excited.
I do think that the Bulls are going to have to go through the Bucks to get there, but I think we can handle it.
I think we can get through the Bucks.
Right? In the Western Conference, I'm going to say something. Nobody's going to like it.
You know what? I'll say this. We can get through the Bucks depending on how Pat Will develops.
I'm feeling that.
If Pat Will becomes the player that we think he is, we'll get through the Bucks. If he doesn't, it's going to go 7, and that means at a minimum 3 of those games, Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday probably actually produce, and that's trouble.
Now, here's the thing, though. I say that for later in this conversation. The Western Conference, though, I feel like Portland is finally going to get to the finals. I feel like Portland's going to finally get to.
What did they make?
I
don't think Portland gets through Denver.
But no. The reason why I say that is because of Chauncey Billups. Dame was totally against Chauncey Billups being there for whatever reasons. But Dame
did we ever confirm that? I don't think we ever confirmed that.
Well, he wasn't against, but it was out there, and he had some.
It was out. He didn't get the head coach he wanted. He wanted D Fish, right?
He wanted Jason Kidd.
He wanted Jason Kidd, and Jason Kidd pulled out because isn't Jason Kidd coaching somewhere this year?
I
thought he got one, but he wanted Jason Kidd, and Jason Kidd pulled out because he was like, I don't need the public endorsement.
So Chauncey Billups in that first practice and holding them accountable, Dame comes out and said it's just a totally different mindset that he wasn't accustomed to, and that growth of a player. Like, listen, he's already a monster. But now to have Chauncey Billups, who's won a championship, who's been the big shot maker and stuff like that, he's only realistically, Dame is a evolved form of what Chauncey Billups was, right? And so he absolutely, if you go back and look at it, Chauncey has put some people in the basket, can make some big shots.
Not to look at that.
It could defend. I'm not saying he was all-star, but
I like Jeremy in the chat. Portland's getting killed right now as we speak.
Oh yeah, they are absolutely. But I think that this is the last year that he's going to have, and he's going to get that together. I have Portland beating the Clippers. I got Portland beating the Lakers.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just do.
Okay.
Maybe it's a hope of mine. I got Portland or the Clippers in the finals.
So you got Portland versus
the
who?
Nets and Bulls.
You got Portland versus who? The Bulls or you going Bulls 7 championship this year? Bulls championship. Or you going Bulls Portland versus the Nets?
I think the Nets. I think KD's gonna get another ring. KD's getting a ring.
Okay, all right. Listen, I told y'all, like, to me, like, Brooklyn is the best team in the NBA. Muzz are talking about like the loss of Kyrie. Yes, it's a loss. Like,
they lost Kyrie, but they picked up Patty Mills.
He's a top 10 player in the league, but James Harden is running point. And James Harden running point is very efficient. James Harden running point, when he's actually running the point, like, it's weird to say because James Harden in Houston for so long was that 2 guard that needed the ball in his hands to do things. And then finally somebody was like, well, why don't you just facilitate the offense? And with KD, as long as they're healthy, that's the best team in the NBA. I don't care how many superstars you put on the team over in LA. That's still the best team in the NBA. And granted, they got a lot of undercover star power over there. Like, it's not superstar power no more, but it's like, oh no, they ain't scrubs. Like, they can still play. They got some players over there. So, but I mean, the question of, and I like that we're having this conversation, because it's not like, first off, we're here. Nobody thinks that any team, or that the Bulls at any point are going to be bad this season. That's a good feeling.
It's a good feeling.
That's a good feeling. But it's about, is it a 50-win team? And to me, like, you got to go through a lot early. The Bulls are going to be tested so much early to see what this team is, that it could be kind of a make or break. Not make or break. I don't want to say it like that, because it sounds like I'm saying like they're going to fall out. But it could be a, hey, we stumbled, we went down, we didn't gel in time. Kind of what the Miami Heat did. Remember that Miami Heat team when they first got together with Brown and all them? They didn't come out the gate right. They was getting beat left and right.
Now, I don't know if we could consider this breaking, because it just happened like 2 hours ago, but they said Kyrie Irving would not be offered an extension. I think that I know we're talking about the Nets without Kyrie.
Yeah.
But you have to also consider, like, this is why I say the Nets are probably going to win. You have to consider that he is still a major trade piece.
Yeah, he is.
Right? Like, the one thing that we don't like about the Nets is they're very top heavy. And if you get rid of one of those players, even if they get somebody that's serviceable, middle of the road, they just need that. That's all they need.
Because to me, like, you got to think of the other team. Like, yes, it's a contract year. Yes, it's a trade piece. Over 100 in the chat. Shout out to y'all, man. Y'all must be out here liking the video.
And they could trade him to Houston and just dump his contract next season.
But it's about the other team. Like, to me, if I'm the other team on the other end of that, I don't want any part of Kyrie. Not because Kyrie can't play. Not because Kyrie's not one of the greatest point guards to ever touch a basketball, which if at this point you don't think so, I'm not sure what you're watching, what you've been watching over the past
top 10 NBA Finals production ever.
But
look at LeBron, Kyrie is right underneath him in the list, and it's half of a point between them.
But this is the problem with Kyrie, right? He's that guy when he's on the court. Kyrie has two issues. One, Kyrie isn't healthy. He hasn't been healthy. He wasn't healthy last season, wasn't healthy the season before that, wasn't healthy the season before that, wasn't healthy the season before that. I can keep going on. And now he's having an issue with even showing up to be there. Now, do I think that, if we're talking about Kyrie, do I think that his reasoning from a personal standpoint is founded? Yeah, it's his decision whether he want to get the shot or not. But it's also the team's decision to say, hey, you don't want to get the shot? That's absolutely fine. You can't be here. That both sides can be 110% right on this. Kyrie's very good to stand on his morals. If he feel like he read something in the shot, he don't like it. Maybe the shot got some swine in it. He not messing with the port, you know what I'm saying? But the Nets are absolutely in the right to say, okay, well, I'm not going to risk my NBA Finals team without you in getting COVID for you to come in on and off.
The problem with the entire argument is the rules and regs change. Like let's be honest, there was, even in Chicago, we just had a whole marathon with thousands of people flew in around the country.
Yeah.
To run a marathon, huddled next to each other, and then all of a sudden, like, that's okay, and they go back to their domains. But somebody who's tested regularly, technically always in a bubble situation like that. Like, we're not here to get into the details of that, but like, I absolutely see New York reversing some decisions on that, because it's not just Kyrie that's speaking out on it. They absolutely have.
Hey, well, their governor said ain't nothing changing.
Yeah,
that boy already came out. He said, ain't nothing changing. Y'all better get ready for this. The governor of New York.
I guarantee you it does.
We'll see.
I guarantee you it. You want to know what it is? Because New York is the mecca of money in this entire country.
Hey, listen, that's a great point. But we'll see. To me, to me,
trust me, it's going to change.
Hey, look, but even so, that's still a privately owned building. You know what I'm saying? Like, the owner could still feel that way. The owner might be like, of the team might be like, no, you're not coming in and out. Either get the vaccine or you don't play with us. And he's in his right to say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, but to me, like, there's no trade value for me with Kyrie. Not only just because of all of this, but there's no trade value for me with him.
He has a higher trade value than Ben Simmons.
Of course he does. Ben Simmons has no trade value. That's why Ben Simmons is going back to Philly. That's why he's at training camp.
At this point, all I'm saying is this: if people were still lining up for Ben Simmons, they'll make Kyrie work, and it's even a matter of just trading him, having that 1 year, get that 1 year off their contract, and just have the opening salary cap for a major team like Houston. It actually makes sense.
If I'm trading for him, Brooklyn's got to pay 75% of his salary. That's the only way I would trade for him.
Yeah, that's not how that works, dog.
You can't
but
do
I
that
like
in the NBA.
I like how aggressive.
No, you absolutely can do that in the NBA. They've done that.
That's gonna work.
Hey, look, I'm telling you right now, there won't be trade partners for it. It's not just the COVID thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not just the shot. To me, it's more of the, hey, look, when Kyrie's here, he's great. Kyrie's never here, though. Kyrie's never on the court. And so to me, like, him being here, him being in the NBA is like, yeah, it's great when he's one of the best players I've ever seen touch a basketball.
Ever.
But he's never there when I need him in the playoffs. Like, at that point, to me, that's where your value starts dropping. What do you say? Nah, I don't know, G. I'm staying in NYC right now. MFs can't even eat in McDonald's without the vaccine. Hey, that's a tough day, dog.
I absolutely cannot stand Nick Wright, because Nick Wright would pull something out of his behind and run with it.
I thought Kyrie said he would retire if he was traded.
Kyrie actually retweeted and said cap.
Oh, did he?
That's when it first hit the. I mean, like, here's the thing. I don't care.
Yeah.
He don't play for the Bulls.
Right.
I like him as a player, but he don't play for my team. I hate to see it happen to him, but he still don't play for my team. Like,
it's about the impact that the team makes. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, as much as Muggs hate that Ben Simmons is back in Philly, as much as Ben Simmons is gonna get booed for coming back to Philly, as much as they're gonna like that, like Ben Simmons is still a great defender. Ben Simmons still has basketball skills that work out. He's still one of the top defenders in the NBA.
Ben Simmons is showing up to collect his check, and he absolutely is. I have strong words for Ben Simmons, because he absolutely strikes me as somebody who will show up just to collect his money, because he realizes, man, that's a lot of money I'm about to give up every game.
Yeah.
He's going to do the bare minimum in that sense, but he's not going to do anything else. And so I don't expect Philly to be in there a competitive position.
I'll say this. I
don't think Joel Embiid's going to be healthy all season.
I'll say this. I think the opposite. I think that, one, Joel Embiid can get them far and high in the East without Ben Simmons there. And two, that Ben Simmons is coming back for one reason and one reason alone. Nobody think he could play. So Ben Simmons has to come back for a half a season at a minimum and play the best basketball of his life right now. And maybe that's gonna get him in there. Maybe that's gonna get him in a mindset of, hey, now I'm gonna take these threes. Now I'm gonna do this job. You know what I'm saying? But I think you're gonna see the best Ben Simmons we've ever seen this season, because he's trying to get his trade value up, because they're gonna be.
You know what? You're absolutely right. You know what the best version of Ben Simmons is? Him making 2 threes this season instead of 1. I got you. But I'll tell you this. The only thing that changes my outlook on the Eastern Conference right now, outside of the Nets running it and the Bulls being a top 4 team, is if the Sixers make a move for John Wall, like they said they were rumored to be.
Yeah.
That, I think they were talking about him going to the Heat. That trade right there, that can change the entire trajectory of this entire NBA.
See, this is the thing. I feel like Muggs just be putting Muggs together like it's 2K and think it's gonna work in real life.
That's what they did on the Lakers.
That's what they did on the Lakers. I want to see if it work in real life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the Lakers are gonna be good, but I've seen these teams get put together like this out of nowhere, and it's like, man, y'all just kind of like 30-year-olds running around trying to make it happen, and it ain't really happening. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but that's modern day basketball, though. There's not a lot of scheme.
It is, but you still have to.
Shout out to you, my boy.
T'Challa, shout out to you, my boy. Appreciate you, man. You still have to put pieces together that work. Like, to me, John Wall in Philly works, but John Wall ain't been healthy. John Wall is another dude that, like, hey, listen, when he's on the court, he is amazing to watch.
John Wall's 26 points, 6.9 assists in his last season with the Rockets on his way back from major injury. And
didn't he stop playing because he got injured majorly again? No, what happened with that?
I don't know exactly. I don't want to speak on that because I didn't keep up with his injury. But what I will say is this: not only are they mutually working together to find a good trade partner for him, Philly was absolutely one of the teams that was on the list.
Philly and Houston, you saying?
Yeah. So no, John Wall and Houston are like working together. So it's a mutually beneficial thing. They're like, hey, listen, we're rebuilding. You're not at the point in the career where you can do it. You can sustain that. I bet. Let's find your trade partner. And Philly and Miami are the two landing spots for him that's been like perpetuated throughout the news, and it makes sense.
Miami, if you put him in Miami, now you got 3 basically point guards.
They don't have Gordon anymore.
They got Kyle Lowry. They got Victor Oladipo, who, I mean, if you look at his shooting numbers, he's basically a point guard. And then you would add John Wall into that, who out of the 3 of them is probably the best shooter.
Well, John Wall would come ready to play, and Victor Oladipo will come off the bench because he's coming off injury.
I think they're both coming off injury. That's what I'm saying.
John Wall is healthy right now.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we'll see. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Vic is coming off. John Wall would be a good insurance piece for them. Either way, I'll say this. John Wall, if healthy. This is how I look at it. It's all if healthy, right? John Wall, if healthy, puts both teams in a it's cap. John Wall, if healthy, I will say this. Derrick Rose used to mess him up, though. John Wall, if healthy, puts both teams in a better position. He puts Philly in a better position because Joel Embiid doesn't want to be in the paint anyway. So he's standing out on the wing. He's standing out at the 3. He's getting the beneficiary of John Wall driving in on the kick. Tobias Harris is going to be able to just find open lanes all over the place in that situation. I don't know what he was talking about. Wall.
Hey, I'm gonna say this though. hey, no. Listen. I got to give y'all this. He's not wrong considering how much he got paid. We killed Chris Middleton.
Wall is overrated for how much he got paid. Yes.
We killed Chris Middleton for how much he got paid and what he does for his team. And he got the pay just as much as John Wall, and he gives more production than John Wall. He has more impact.
See, here's where I say this, right? Because he got paid before the first injury. You get paid off of what you did and the hope that it continues.
John Wall didn't increase his shot either.
John Wall earned his money though. And John Wall was killing it in an NBA that fit his game. He earned his money. Just like, to me, like the money that the Bulls paid Derrick Rose, you win an MVP, that comes with it. You get that check. The thing that makes him then overrated is that, well, I don't know if you can say overrated. Like, to me, he's never been healthy since then. And unfortunately, that's just the ins and outs of the NBA. You know, sometimes you pay the big contract to some dudes and they not healthy after that. John Wall has never come back since he got that money.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the narrative shifted on him because all of a sudden he wanted out of Washington because Washington started rebuilding and they were like, well, we thought you were our building block. It's like, yeah, me too. And then y'all gutted all the pieces because I was hurt for a couple years. So now we're not in the same place anymore.
Hey, Ken is right. He's never developed his game.
He was a one.
That's what I was going to say. He's never developed his game. John Wall came in as a raw talent, quick, handle, can score, and it's been the same since he got in the league. He's the only person I can say outside of Ben Simmons who had all this hype that did not get better that I can remember. And the only other person I can see that happening to right now is Zion. Zion is just bigger than everybody, stronger than everybody.
That's a tough comparison for me because when you look at Zion, like it's like Zion's doing stuff that like Bron ain't doing, but like in year 2, like if he don't get better, that's still great. Didn't he shoot what did he shoot last year? It was like 70%. It was like ridiculous. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like it's ridiculous what Zion's able to do on the court. Like even if he never gets better, if he is that same player the rest of his career, that is still 27 and 10.
I mean, let's be real. Is Zion he's bigger? He's bigger than most people we've seen at his age and size, and he is a different talent.
Yeah.
But we talked the same way about Blake Griffin when he first came in. Blake Griffin came in on a tear.
I don't know who talked that. I didn't talk that at all.
Because Blake Griffin came in not only dunking on everybody, averaging the same amount of points as Zion is averaging.
Yeah, but Zion came in with footwork. Blake Griffin had no post game. Blake Griffin had no jump shot.
I need you to go watch some of those posters he has. Some of those posters he has is off of good footwork, a nice spin move.
Yeah, but they later.
I don't think you watch that footwork, dog.
But they later in his career. They're when he was already in the NBA for a couple of years. They were in his rookie year where he's hitting mugs with the fake one side spin move, turn around, jam on the center. Like, like that. First off, his rookie year was the second year, but that rookie year, that man was literally just on a runway.
Hey, listen, 22, 12, and 50% from the field. 50% from the field.
Zion is shooting. What Zion shooting right now? It's disrespectfully good.
You want Zion? You want Zion's real stat? I give it to you.
Yeah, give it to me right now. Give it to me. It's disrespectfully good.
This for kicks and giggles. I like talking basketball.
Hey, look, and I say this.
That dag is 60.4%.
What I tell you, dog? What I tell you?
God,
disrespectfully good. And I tell you this, at the middle of the season, it was higher. He ended up regressing a little bit because the team just started getting worse.
Yeah.
Hey, man, let's get back into these phone lines, man. We got a call coming in here from the 773. Let's go out here. Oh, it's still screening. Give it a second. Give it a second. It's still screening here. Hey, dog, I told you it's ridiculously good, my boy. Let's get in here. This is Ron. Ron, what's going on, man?
Hello?
Yo, what's good? Who this?
Yeah.
Oh, this Shay, man.
Oh, Shay, what's good, man? How you feeling, man? What you thinking about these Bulls, my boy?
I think that we're gonna be a hell of a good team. Hey, but I think we should establish ourselves as a defensive first team. Let's think about it. Even in the Jordan era, even in the Derrick Rose era, we've always been a great defensive team. Think about it. Look at the baby Bulls back when we had Ben Wallace and Kurt Heinrich. We've always been a great defensive team. That's where our calling card has been, and that's where we've always established ourselves as being good. Now, don't get me wrong. We do have great offensive talents, but I think we should establish ourselves as a great defensive team first, and then let the offense take care of itself. Because the way I see it, after looking at these preseason games, we are pretty great on the offensive end, but I think we should establish ourselves as a defensive first-minded team.
I appreciate the call, my boy. Appreciate the call. I mean, there's a lot of truth to that. Stay safe out there, all right?
Oh, man. Hey, I got a little pushback to that.
Go ahead with it.
Name the last defensive team that won a chip.
I would say situational defense is more important. I'm not saying, like he's saying defensive first, like 90s Bulls, early 2000 Bulls. I don't think you're going to get that out of any team anymore. Just because there's not five like two-way players on the court.
Is the narrative about the late 90s Bulls that we were a defensive team? Because, I mean, you had Mike, who was scoring champ, and
he was also defensive player of the year.
I mean, they kind of gave it. I'm not going to be disrespectful.
Hey, listen. You can be as disrespectful as you want. Go look back and see who led the league in blocks.
Yeah. Milwaukee is considered a defensive team. I would give you that.
Milwaukee to me is considered a defensive team, but they're a team that can still put up 110, 120. You know what I'm saying?
We got to talk about how the Spurs had Tim Duncan had a big three his whole career, and we make it seem like he just did it by himself.
Who makes it seem like that? Tim Duncan averaged Tim Duncan actually was getting buckets, but Tim Duncan averaged like 20, 25 points a game.
Yeah, but he had a big three.
He did. Well,
everyone makes it seem as if like.
Well, he had a big three that fit well in that system. Listen, and I'm going to say it for this reason.
Tony Parker has a finals MVP, was in the running for season MVP, and actually has a season with more points in the paint than Prime Shaq. What are we talking about?
Look up Tony Parker's numbers.
I did. Tony Parker was one of my favorite players.
Look up them season averages and you tell me.
You can't go by the season average.
You can't go by the points he averaged in a season to count the players?
Go by the season average. You also got to go by the playoff average, and you also have to go by a
couple
playoff
average. Look up Tony's numbers. Okay. Look up Manu numbers. We talking about a big three, and I'm not saying that those mugs can't hoop. I'm not saying that they not ballers, but look at they actual numbers.
Two first ballot Hall of Famers.
Look at we are. Listen, but look at they numbers and look how much Tim Duncan was scoring.
Don't do that one because Tim Duncan did not win MVP all those seasons. Tony Parker has a 2006-2007 Finals MVP.
Okay, you're right. No, you're right.
I know I'm right. I ain't talking about you. I'm talking about kids.
There's so many numbers out here. We didn't went all off track. We talk about the Bulls being a 50-win team.
We're
Now
talking basketball.
We're talking
when you talk basketball,
right
you get to talk
It's
about
basketball
everybody.
season, y'all. Hey,
There's no way you talk about the Bulls and you just spend an hour on the Bulls. You got to talk about the whole league. We saying everybody.
And I think that's a good point. You did just go down a rabbit hole there. We got bad. You trying to find some numbers to justify it.
No. Tony Parker for his career averaged 15 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The seasons that he actually showed out, like the 07-06 season, he was 18 and 6, and the next season he was 18 and 6, and then the season after that he was 22 and 6. So like for the offense that they ran, you scoring 18 to 20 points in Greg Popovich's system, you a stud.
I'm not. Listen, he's a Hall of Famer.
Numbers went up when he left Greg. Like they
he's
absolutely
a Hall of Famer. I'm not disrespecting you. Like they need all three of them to win them championships. Like we're in agreement here. We're in agreement here. But I don't know if I wouldn't call that a big three.
Yeah, you do not win them chips without Manu. You cannot win them chips without.
Call that a big three. Yeah, I'm saying.
Come on.
Listen, I love talking basketball, dog. I feel like we both in our bag when the NBA come out.
Oh man, this is gonna be fun.
So listen, we got a long NBA season ahead of us. Tony Parker was a beast in his day, could shoot the three when he needed to, drop dimes like nobody business, and could get to the cup on just about everybody. I do agree. But are we calling him a big three?
Time out. I'm gonna do it. Damn, Cant with a big bag.
Oh. I told you, big dogs, you were going to love Alizé Johnson. I love that his name's Alizé. I'm not going to lie to you. Now, wait until that man, Tony Bradley, gets some burn. I'm telling you, Kobe, Caruso, Alizé, Bradley, and Jones Jr. are going to give some starting units fits. Go Bulls. Shout out to Debo with the super chat. Let me ask y'all this. Super chat. Let me ask y'all this. Super chat. Well, y'all are a super chat. Shout out to y'all. Let me ask y'all this. And Kid, with what we've seen in preseason heading into the season, if you're going to have a 50-win team, it ain't going to be Zach Vooch, DeMar, and Lonzo doing it all the time. Do the Bulls have a 50-win team bench? Do they have the best bench in the NBA or at least a top 5 bench in the NBA? You had to go back and look at their bench.
I was really big on Jones Jr. I was really big on Caruso. Alizé Johnson, I'm still on the fence on.
Alizé hustle. Alizé is going to be. Alizé is. I think I was asking who's that glue player, who's that Daniel Gafford kind of guy. That's your Alizé.
Yeah. That is a solid bench. That's a solid bench.
Is it a top 5, top 3 even? I mean, we talking about 50 wins. You talk about 50 plus wins. Let's be real. Let's break down what 50 plus wins is. 50 plus wins is a top 3 team in the Eastern Conference. If the Bulls win 50 to 55 games, they're a top 3 team in the Eastern Conference.
That's a great question. Is the bench mounted back? Here's what you want from your bench. And so, like, here's my question to you. I'm going to give you a little synopsis, and here's my question to you. I know we got to wrap up in about 8 minutes.
Yeah.
You want your bench to be able to maintain a lead or maintain competitiveness when your starters are out. So if we're up 10, you want them to be able to maintain that lead, right? If it's a back and forth game, you want them not to get down by much, right? Until your starters are back in.
Right.
Do we think our bench can do that? I think they can.
Do we think yes. I'll say this. I think our bench can go as far as when your starters come out, they can help you grow that lead versus most teams. I mean, Caruso's 3-and-D. You might not be a believer in Kobe White as a point guard, but as a shooter, Kobe absolutely can get that done. He can shoot. He can score. TBJ is a guy who seems to have improved on his 3-point ball. He's a defender. Like, to me, like the defensive end on that, they're going to come in and they're still going to be able to impact defensively, stop what the other team's starters want to do, and then come in and also be able to score on the other end.
You know, because the NBA is my thing. I'm like thinking of our first. Like, we got a really tough starting schedule. Like we got the Celtics. We got
it's Sixers twice, 6, and then it's just like,
yeah, we get smacked in the mouth hard in the middle of that. And so I'm looking at their benches, and I'm like, if we could sustain the first wave of the barrage of the Nets, then we can definitely get them. I think I'd only be worried about. No, they made some changes. I gotta really look at that.
Yeah,
I gotta really look at that.
Yeah,
because I have to understand the rotations of the other teams to even say that this is something that can be maintained. Because it's some. I think what team made some good changes. The Bucks gave up. The Bucks gave up PJ Tucker.
Bucks gave up PJ Tucker. They bench took a little bit of a hit. Well, PJ
The
Tucker was
Nets
starting.
The Nets gave up James, and they picked up.
The Nets is probably the next best bench, and then you might
because
say
they got LA, they got Blake.
Yeah,
they got
LA,
Patty
they
Mills
got
now.
Blake,
Who
they got
is
Paul
underrated,
Millsap.
but Patty Mills give you buckets.
Paul Millsap.
Paul Millsap
might start. Honestly, I don't know how their rotation is going to work. Atlanta's roster is absolutely loaded.
That's a good one, Brian. I mean, Cant.
Now, Atlanta to me is a team that I said I was talking about Atlanta, and I was saying, listen, y'all got to prove it that y'all can do that again. I've seen Atlanta at the top of the Eastern Conference.
Hey, they made it an offensive foul for all the times that
all that stuff
getting to the
all of that
doing
stuff
that jump back into the defender thing anymore.
All that stuff that Trae Young do. Oh yeah, Marko Simonovic is on the bench as well. I think that's a player that's absolutely.
We good. I forgot all about Buddy.
I think that's a player that's absolutely gonna develop. You know what I'm saying? That Javonte Green is going to your bench, y'all. He's not a starter.
That's crazy.
Javonte Green is going to the bench.
Let's flip this.
Okay.
Because we've been on this whole train of we absolutely have to 50-win team.
Yeah.
Who F's it up?
Player wise for us?
Who F's it up? Do you think Billy D can handle it?
Do I think Billy D can handle this team? I think he can because I think Lonzo's the perfect point guard for this team. I think we saw Billy D's offense work best when Chris Paul was there and when Shai Gilgeous was there. He had Shai Gilgeous really young. Let's be real. If Shai Gilgeous doesn't miss a play that Chris Paul just wouldn't on an inbound where it's Steven Adams in the paint, they're going to the next round.
Hey, that's also why I said Russell Westbrook does not translate to wins because they absolutely almost blew that.
Well, listen, it's hard to win when somebody's holding the ball 52% of the time, 50, whatever it is. Like you tried to have James Harden have the highest usage rate in the NBA ever and win like nobody's even come close except Jordan. And I'll tell you what, Harden is great, but Harden ain't no Jordan.
He definitely ain't no Jordan. The reason I asked this question is because there has been some talks, even last season, you were kind of on the fence with it, that Billy Donovan does a good job with younger players and stuff like that, but he does not have a proven track record of coaching veterans.
He doesn't.
So, now that we have a more veteran core, how do you think it plays out?
We didn't get to see him with this kind of talent and this kind of point guard. And what I mean by that is when Chris Paul was there, everybody else was gone. When Shai Gilgeous is coming into his own now, like Billy's not there. We didn't get to see, like, if you had Chris Paul with Paul George or Chris Paul with Kevin Durant and Billy's able to run that system, that's a very different system to me. That's a very different team. Lonzo, now you have that, and you still have that star talent. Like, let's be real. In OKC, they had Russell Westbrook, and we can say what we want about, where he how he messes it up or he doesn't get everybody involved and stuff like that. But your next best shooter on that team is Andre Roberson.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you where Russ works best. When you got a bunch of mugs around him that can shoot the ball, which is why I think he's going to do well in LA. But even now, with Lonzo Ball coming into this, it's a bunch of mugs that can shoot the ball, including apparently Lonzo Ball, which was a big surprise for a lot of us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I think that this team, and I was on the fence about Billy because you weren't able to win. If you can't get the job done or even get to the finals with Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, Paul George, I have some questions about you. And those questions are absolutely still there because he ain't proved he can do nothing here yet either. But I think that you're in a much better position to be successful if you have this kind of point guard, the Chris Paul kind of guy that ran this system, and then now you got all these not only just shooters, but like some of the best in the NBA on your team.
Yeah, and you know what? As you check that message, one thing I wanted to actually say is, uh, I like the fact that AK has put us like you see all this right here, you see this chat busting right now. Like somebody mentioned Marco, it was like, yo, Marco, I forgot about Marco. Have y'all done the research on Marco? Marco can ball.
Hey, listen, you know I did.
Marco could absolutely ball.
You already know I did.
And so, like, yeah, if you ain't seen that video, go check that video out. And so, like, when we go back, we have a really deep bench. And so, you actually told me about a good quote that Jordan gave. What was the quote?
Oh, talking about the Bulls, he said the Bulls are. Listen, my old team is making some noise. They absolutely can compete this year for a top spot.
Hey, listen, he has no reason to lie. I mean, he could have been like, "Yeah, skip them. My team gonna win." Like that.
Yeah.
That would have been a very Mike thing to say.
Yeah.
But no, they're absolutely in the thing.
Hey, look,
now, here's another thing. I want to do a couple.
Mike and Kobe are very much alike, right? Kobe came out and said, "I'm not gonna pay you a compliment unless you deserve it."
Yeah.
Because if I give you the compliment, you're gonna know it. I mean it. And if you suck, I'm gonna tell you suck. Mike's the same way. So getting a compliment from Michael Jordan means not only that, well, one, it's a team he's gonna have to compete against in the Eastern Conference, but he absolutely is gonna notice it.
I know that we're coming to the last minutes for the contender. We appreciate everyone who called in. We love the fact that you are rocking with us. We're going to continue the conversation. Those who didn't get a chance to call in, guess what? You have another opportunity next show. And anything you want to say before we let those people go?
Nah, man, I appreciate you guys on the contender side for rocking with us today. If you guys are listening in on that side, appreciate you guys. Me and Kid had a little bit of extra time this week, so man, we were like, man, we talking basketball. Let's keep it busting. Let's keep it going. You know what I'm saying? So we appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us on that side, man. Hey, yo, contender. Hey, yo, Chicago. Y'all stay safe out there. Peace to y'all, man. Give it a second.
Boom. All right, so for those who just stayed with us, we still talking basketball, man. We still talking basketball. Let's get into it. How do you feel about Ayo, bro?
How do we feel about Ayo?
I keep saying Ayo.
I like that you call him Ayo. I really like that you call him Ayo. I'm like, Ayo, I'm tired of using technology.
Ayo. Hey, Debo, everybody in the chat, you do not have to leave. We're still keeping it busting. We just have to. As you can see, we have the radio side. We have to let go, so we got to keep that. Have a nice little outro for that. So we have to do that. But
I'll say that. Give me a second so I can drop off on that side. But Ayo to me is a
that's what I'm talking about.
Woo! Here we go. Yo, break that down right there, kid.
That's what I'm talking about. Hey, listen, that kid came in hungry. He looked like he belonged. I know it's preseason, but guess what? You cannot sit there and discredit preseason. Anyone who's ever played basketball know don't matter. Like if you're in a slump in basketball, guess what they tell you to do? Go play some scrubs. So that's what happened. You play some scrubs. You let that joint build. Guess what? Ayo, I call him Ayo. He's absolutely going to be better for this team.
I think he's better for Kobe.
Absolutely.
I think he's better for Kobe. And what I mean by that is like it's a lot of people that have just written Kobe White off, right? And you're one of them. You just think
I didn't write him off. I just said that this may not be his best opportunity.
I'm saying for this team, you don't think that he's the guy for this team, right? Which is fine. But he's not the point guard for this team. I 100% agree with that. Ayo probably shouldn't have slipped out of the first round if we're being honest. To me, he should have been an end of first round pick. The Bulls came away with a steal. And the fact that I'll tell you the other thing I love, the fact that Billy Donovan's like, yo, this kid's from Chicago and he probably was first round talent. Like, why aren't y'all looking at him? Now, I didn't think he was a lottery pick. But I think that he's going to be a player that, like, I love how Billy's setting this up because you've got your team now. And then you've got what your team is going to become. Right? So right now we got Zach, Lonzo, DeMar, P. Will, and Vooch as your starting lineup. DeMar and Vooch, 4 years. 4 more years, solid years. You know what I'm saying? Where we're talking about maybe 3 for DeMar. You know what I'm saying? Like DeMar's game's a little different. I think Vooch can probably play a little longer, but we're talking 3-4 years. But the next team up is still in play. Hey, that's how the good guys do it. That's how the big teams do it, y'all. So Io might not be the point guard for the Bulls right now, but guess what? His time's probably coming because in 3-4 years, Lonzo Ball is 30.
Yeah.
Kobe
I'm gonna
White
give you
right
an analogy that
Kobe
you're
White
gonna
right now is
understand, Jeff.
20. Io right now is 19. Pat Will right now is 20. Like that's your next team, y'all. You want to see a team do it right? This is how you move them into. Shout out to Debo again with the super chat. This is how you move them into that next era because Kobe White might not be the shooting guard for the Bulls right now. He might not be your starting shooting guard. He can't be. Zach LaVine's on your team. That don't mean he can't be the next man up. Or that don't mean he can't be. That don't mean he can't be.
Both of these real quick. Hey, listen, it's not the fact that all right, let's get it, it's all in jest with the whole Kobe White thing. Like, it's just a joke that I've kept running and we've kept running. So, like, just to break it down, I have no hate against Kobe White. Right? Kobe White had a string of games that showed me that he was being asked to do something he wasn't good at. And they were like, no, he's going to be the point guard of our future. Y'all, I didn't say that. Y'all did. Some of these very same people riding for him in the chat, y'all said that. And I said, no, he's not. He absolutely isn't. I said that he was a 2 guard. But guess what? When he played 2 guard, that's all he focused on. That's exactly what he did. He did that well. Yeah. He sat there, scored the ball well, stuff like that. Now, here's the problem, though. I'm going to give you a football analogy. You all know that I feel like Matt Nagy completely ruined Trubisky.
Yeah.
Right? Does Biscuits have his own flaws? Absolutely. But guess what? He goes to the Bills. He looks like a more competent QB. Right now, Kobe White does not. I'm about to call it.
You're about to say Cole Kmet. You was about to say Cole Kmet. I saw it.
I'm about to say Cole. I'm about to say somebody, right? Listen, he has challenges with his decision making, and things of that nature. So this may not be the best opportunity for him, right? This may not be it. We have a younger guard who gives us that tenacity and stuff like that. I don't see how you can't consider them comparable. And considering that Kobe White is going to come at the end of his rookie, he's still on his rookie deal, I believe, right? Yeah. That he has to come up we have to re-sign him. Is he worth re-signing? When you have Io coming up and stuff like that.
Kobe White is a different player, right? It's not about is he worth re-signing. It's about what is he worth to re-sign. You know what I'm saying? To me, Kobe White is worth re-signing. I think that we're in a day and age where we see so many people come out and ball out their first season, right? That we don't
Which statistically isn't the way it normally goes.
Well, not even that. Right now it really is. How many rookies last year came out and dominated? How many rookies? And I mean, I'm talking about not even just first rounders, like all the way down. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many rookies last year before that? Are we talking about as staples? Are we talking about? I mean, who's my man that we just dubbed up in Cleveland? Point guard.
You talking about Sexton?
Colin Sexton. Colin Sexton is the most double team player in the NBA. He's been in the league 2 years. We see, this will be year 3. We see ridiculous success.
I have a theory about that, though.
But here's the thing, right? We see a player come in and struggle, and we trash him because now we can't be patient about it. Now we can't let him develop. Now we can't let him turn into what he turns into. When we get to the point with Larry Markkinen doing what he does, and you saw 4 years of literally, like you saw, like his rookie year looked great, right? It's like, oh, he's 15 and 11. That's crazy. But when you get to year 4 and you're like, hey, he's still 15 and 11. Like,
yeah, to address Debo's question, I'm on the fence. You know what? I was on the fence with Alizé simply because I didn't have enough tape on him for me personally. Yeah. So I have to do more about that. So that's on me. You know, next live I have a better answer. Just remember that. I'm actually remembering it myself because I don't know. I think my opinion on him is going to change.
I don't know if he's Ben Wallace. That's high praise.
That's
high praise.
Hey, Ben
that's
Wallace.
High praise. That's high praise. Hey, and all y'all young dudes that be disrespecting Ben Wallace,
you can't do that.
Look at the errors. Look at the errors. It's different basketball.
Ben Wallace, I think, is the only person with 4 defensive players of the year.
Yeah, and let me tell you this: the only person The only person that made Shaq look silly.
Yeah.
Now, it was one finals, but still.
Ben Wallace, yeah, absolutely. But the one thing I say is it's interesting how like we look at Larry Markkinen and we can say, oh, his first year under under Billy
Jim
D,
Boylan.
he didn't show nothing, and we got rid of him. Look at that. Well, Kobe White didn't show nothing either. Kobe White had the same streaks
I don't think that's the narrative on Larry Markkinen. To me, the narrative on Larry Markkinen is not
you absolutely had that narrative. What you talking about?
What you mean?
You said that Larry Markkinen had the opportunity to come in and show why he was worth the money he was trying to get, and he absolutely didn't do it. And Kobe White, I'm not saying that he's in there for a contract, whatever like that, but Kobe White did the same thing. He had the same up and down season, and he had nothing but opportunity to show that he was worth staying on the team.
But here's my caveat to that, right?
And we keep talking about these franchise records that mean nothing. You know a lot of people who broke franchise records? A lot of them are no longer in the NBA or stars.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot of bums on the bench that broke
franchise
record.
Absolutely. No,
come on now.
No, I think this is what you have to look at. With the kind of player Lowry is, right? You have to show me, no matter who's out there, that you can do it. Zach LaVine, who didn't know Zach LaVine couldn't play? Under Jim Boylan,
LaVine got better every season.
Every single season under Jim Boylan. Listen, he had was he with Flip Saunders, right? Flip Saunders in Minnesota, came here to Fred Hoiberg, to then Jim Boylan, to now Billy Donovan. In that 5 year span, Zach's gotten better every single season. Larry Markkinen in the same time span, because he was the draft that we got Lowry in is the draft pick we got from Minnesota. In the same time span, has not improved. He's not a better shooter. He's not a better rebounder. He's not a better post player. In fact, he's a much worse post player. He's not a better defender. In fact, I would say he's a much worse defender. Like, at a certain point, like, there's a lot to system, there's a lot to game, but basketball a lot of times is a one-on-one game, especially when you're on a bad team. Listen, I saw Ish Smith get MVP votes because he was the only player on Philly. Like, he was dropping 40 a night, and it's like, can he play? No, he's just the only dude.
And can I say this? Let's be honest. We're in positionless basketball era now, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to hear, well, he was playing a position. Listen, no.
I think that only works.
Let me finish real quick.
Yeah.
Him not knowing how to dribble in certain situations, having those successions of turnovers and stuff like that, is not because we said you're the point guard. He lost the ball on a lot of really bad plays. He dribbled right into defenses. He he had a lot of mental blocks or mental lapses in his play. That I was like, yo, there's no way in the world he's going to be the future anything right now.
Yeah.
Right?
I would say the caveat is,
let's stop the whole, like, if we do this in football, right?
Yeah, well, I would say the caveat is, like, even in a football analogy, you know, like, is he good enough to be the quarterback? No, he's not. Does that mean that he can't play football? No, like, there's some dudes that are just athletes, and basketball, it just works better. You know what I'm saying? Like, Alice, yeah, I can see that. I can 110% see that. I can see that. I can see that. Hey, listen. Let's get to Kenneth Faried before we get to Ben Wallace. Like, there's steps here. There's steps here. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he can't be Ben Wallace, but there's steps. Let's get to him. I would say.
Let me ask you this, because I don't want this to be the whole Kobe White thing, because, like, that's a we gonna beat that into the ground.
Well, no, I think it's just a question of Billy's development at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, now we're going to see, one, can Billy develop a lot of these young guys who are there? Pat Will, is he going to develop? It becomes the Matt Nagy question. You know what I'm saying? Kobe White, like, to me, Kobe as a point guard is terrible. And point guard is the one position in Billy Donovan's system that matters. I've seen Billy Donovan's system work with a shooting guard that can't shoot. With a shooting guard that can't shoot, he had the best record in the NBA. Like, I've seen the system work. I just haven't seen it win a championship. I want to see something win a championship. Now, is he going to be good enough to develop Kobe as the 2? Is he going to be good enough to develop Pat Will as your starting 3 moving forward? You know what I'm saying? Right now, Pat Will's going out there just starting 4. Now, granted, like you said, positionless basketball, but
Yeah.
it's more on Billy, and I think the difference there is like under nobody, like Zach has an internal thing to get better. I would say Kobe White probably has a little bit more because I think his shooting improved from his rookie year to his second year, but he was playing point. He was awful at it.
Marginally though.
Marginally,
he's still shooting worse than Kemba Walker.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
Like, well, here's the thing. Like, listen. He's good for if you want it. Now, point 0.35 is a good 3-point shooter. I can't dismiss that, right?
Yeah.
But 0.40 as a shooter in this league where efficiency is high, no, that's not all that great. And we clown Russ, we clown Kemba, we clown all them for the efficiency. He's shooting worse than them.
Right? It's fine for a bench dude, though, right?
Say that again.
If he's coming off of the bench doing that, we're fine with it.
Alonzo Ball shot better than him his entire career.
His entire career? I can't believe
Alonzo Ball was drafted a year before and has shot better than him outside of his first season.
Okay, so that makes sense. He got traded to New Orleans his second year, right?
Yeah.
So we got to New Orleans and they said stop passing.
In fact, statistically speaking, Lonzo Ball is a better shooter.
Overall, yeah. Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. Lonzo been splashing that thing. No, Lonzo pretty with it too. He went from here to that man is right here. He said, it's whatever you want it to be. Love the follow through on that.
And if anybody has had a rocky road with the NBA, it's going from playing with LeBron and getting traded to ship to a city that didn't want you and stuff like that. Yeah, I take that. I think that's a much harder trajectory.
But I think that's the thing that, like, that's my hesitation with it, right? What did the Lakers go out and get Russell Westbrook for?
I don't know. I hate the move.
Look. Okay. Look, you hate the move. On paper, what they go out there to get him for? Like,
I don't know. Like, you said it on paper, like it's gonna make it better.
Well,
I'm
saying they went out there to get him because of his facilitating ability and his ability to score.
Dog.
What is Lonzo? What? But it's the thing, right? They traded Lonzo away. What's Lonzo right now?
Wait. I agree with Jeffrey for once. To sell merch because you don't get them for rebounds.
You don't get them for rebounds.
No, listen. They went back and got their two centers who's going to absolutely need to get rebounds.
They don't need them for that.
They got Carmelo, who absolutely going to be camping out.
This is a good one, though. This is a good one. Shout out to Steve-O. I got it. Westbrook got because Bron isn't playing 80 games no more. That's not a bad take right there. You're building a second team that can still win while Bron is out. Because when Anthony Davis is by himself for some reason on the Lakers, they do not win. The mugs be iffy.
Man, listen, we're going to see LeBron.
I do not know.
LeBron is going to have a Peyton Manning succession of being the number one leader in points. Like, he's going to be on his last leg with 40,000 points. And we're going to be like, look at the greatest I've ever played. It's like, dog, he like never got injured and stuff like that.
I don't want him to. He's going to fall off hard one day. And I think Bron's going to stick around. I think there's going to be a season where he just don't got it. I think he's going to stay like that, like John Stockton did. Now, Stockton was staying for a ring, but I think there's going to be a season where Bron, like even last year in the playoffs, to me, I was watching him try to run around with
Bron ain't got it the same.
He don't, and that's okay. That's okay, but you see him trying to run around with Phoenix and them, and I'm like, yo, he tired. Yo, he is exhausted right now.
Hey,
like that sweat is slowing down.
I'm gonna say this: LeBron is going to end his career much like Karl Malone. Just with more rings.
A lot more.
A lot more. Karl Malone ain't got none, so he could have one if he allowed for it. like Karl Malone was still getting buckets well into his later years.
Yeah.
And that's why he's number 2 on the list.
Yeah.
Like, he's like 36, 37,000 points, but he averaged LeBron numbers most of his career.
I want y'all to know, at this point, we just kicking and talking basketball with y'all.
Hey, listen, there's 116 of you all. That means only 14 people left. We appreciate y'all still rocking with us. I've been dying to talk basketball for the longest. Like, just to talk basketball.
Absolutely dying for this. He was like, hey man,
like, yeah, but this is a Bulls channel. We gotta talk Bulls, and I'm like, no, but let's talk about history. And I'm like, nah.
Here's the thing. I'm absolutely fine with just talking basketball because to me, this all goes back to the Bulls, right? Like this is the best part about the season. Break this down. Think about this, y'all. We're talking about the entire NBA, and we're talking about the best teams in the NBA right now, right? We're one of them. Finally. We're talking about how the Bulls match up against them. We're talking about how the Bulls. That's where we are at. We had Gar Forman 2 years ago, y'all. We won 19 games 2 years ago.
Yeah.
We're talking about, are the Bulls a 50-win team? Are they going to do better than the Lakers? Who, listen, as much as we want to hate on the Lakers, they're still going to win like 40-something games. They're still going to be a very much, honestly, they're probably a 50-win team.
They're one injury away from not being anything.
Who? Who's the injury?
AD.
Well, that's going to happen. I hate to say it, dog. And look, I love AD. I love him a little less once I found out he's a Packer fan, but I love AD. But dog, like I play statistics on stuff like that. I don't wish anything on anybody, but
stats tell me
he's been hurt most of his years.
Hey,
has he played 82 games yet?
You want me to look it up? I'll look it up. I don't think he has.
I don't think he's ever played 82 games. I think he's been hurt every season. And not to say like he's got to play 82, but I think literally injury's been the reason every season that he hasn't played 82.
Hey, for anyone that has said anything about Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant not being the GOAT, stuff like that, because of LeBron, Mike played 82 games, a lot more than we give him credit for. Like, we don't give him credit. And by the way, the most games that your boy played was 75. He did it in 2016 and 2017. Played 75 games. Outside of that, he's missed significant time.
That's the Boogie season, ain't it?
I guess so.
When him and Boogie was down in New Orleans together with Rondo.
Yeah.
Mons don't realize, bro. Like this is the problem with the league, right?
Dog, they almost beat the Warriors.
No, bro. New Orleans is such a trash organization. That's a whip. That is a whip. Like that team, I wanted that team to be good so bad. So bad, dog.
They were good.
They were. They really were.
They were good. Guess what?
Team, if you keep building on it, come on, bro.
Guess what? They just ran into the Warriors at the wrong time.
Hey, let's shout Steve. He said AD most definitely an op. Yeah, facts. That's facts, dog. I love AD. I really do. For a while there, I really was arguing for AD as the best player in the NBA. More so just because he was from Chicago and he was killing mugs down in New Orleans. But I was really like, Kevin Durant is doing this with everybody on his team. AD is keeping the Pelicans in playoff contention, and he got basically my dog running with him.
Hey, you want to know an interesting stat?
What's up?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Michael Jordan played 82 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times in his career.
And once he had a broken foot, and the other time he had just come back off of being retired.
The other season in 88, he missed 1 game. He played 81 games. Another season in 90, he missed 2 games. He played 80 games that season. Like,
I think he caught the flu. Oh no, there was 2 games where he had to go get dentist, wasn't it?
I guess so. I don't know.
Oh, that's late. That's later.
hey, listen. Like, we can talk about the retirement stuff, but when Mike was available and playing, he played. Yeah. Oh, his last season, he played 82 games.
Oh yeah. But I mean, and this. Well, I say this. I'm never gonna bet against LeBron until Bron is not in GOAT conversation. I don't have GOAT conversation, so I'm never gonna bet against LeBron until Bron shows me he can't do it no more. But I'm seeing cracks in the armor, and I think that this is the perfect time for the Bulls to put this team together. For the first
time, if LeBron had to face the Clippers,
he'd beat the Clippers.
I'm picking the Clippers.
I'd pick the Lakers.
If LeBron had to face the Nets.
Hey, look, I'd pick the Lakers because the Clippers went out in the same fashion and they changed the coach. So that tells me that something else is wrong.
No, they went out. They lost because they lost their main player. Kawhi was down. Paul George took Phoenix 7 games.
Oh,
or 6 games.
That's right.
Yeah, no, dog. Like, I can't let you out that one.
Yeah.
Like,
But no,
Clippers
when
absolutely.
they was up like 3-1, wasn't it? 2-1, something like that.
And the Clippers came back.
Oh no, the Suns were up 3-1, right?
Suns
And the
were up.
Clippers started coming back. Yeah, that's right.
No, I can't let you have that one.
And I'm gonna say this. There's gonna be a lot of pissed off people. I've been saying it a couple times. Let Russell Westbrook win a ring. Somebody moving off y'all top 5 point guards all the time. Somebody moving. I don't care what nobody say. Somebody got to go. Don't let the Lakers. Derrick Rose ain't in my top 5 point guards all the time.
Derrick Rose ain't in my top 10.
Hey, look, hold on. The viewers just dropped. It goes to 2 viewers.
Hey, that's a narrative that we can have. This Bulls team is better than the Derrick Rose led team.
It is. Derrick Rose team, they didn't build anything there.
They didn't.
They didn't build anything. They said Derrick's good, Joe's good, Luol's all right. Luol was good. No, let me rephrase that. Derrick's great. What did he say? He said almost left. Hey, Jeffrey, I'm just saying. No, Derrick's great. Joe is good. Joe's a defensive player of the year, so he's absolutely good. You love him for that era of basketball. Where would you put him? He's better than good. Where'd you put Joakim? What do we say? How do we make it? It wasn't above average. It was something else. It was above average.
Joakim had the Draymond effect.
I think he had more than that.
The reason I say that is because Draymond is Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
He's even had an MVP running.
True.
Averaging a triple single.
Joakim wasn't doing that, though.
Joakim wasn't doing that.
Joakim was doing that with double-doubles.
Right?
Joakim, I think, what did he have, like 22 or 23 double-doubles that season? Joakim, like, I feel like good is disrespectful. I feel like he's above good.
Yeah, but it was just this X factor that just worked. I like how, Jeffrey put it. It's an X factor that worked, right? Joakim ain't really do that.
What was he talking about the other day? I don't know why this works, but it does.
I don't like it.
He shoot like this. I don't know why it works.
The ball don't spin like this. It spin like this. Like, I never seen that a day in my life. Like, normally it spin like this, but his is like, I was like, okay. Y'all bugging if Rose not top 10.
Look, and you knew it did because when it would hit the rim, it would hit the rim and shoot that way. And you would be like, I've never seen that.
Hey, Lang, guess what? I want you to name your top 10 point guards.
Is Derrick Rose a top 10 point guard all time?
All time, no.
Is that what we saying?
That's what I'm saying. And I can back it up.
No, I'm saying, is that what I don't even have top 10 point guards. I really don't. Like, I don't have anything. I'm gonna be real with you.
Top 10 Bulls all time, sure. Hey,
Derrick Rose is a top 5.
Derrick Rose is the point guard.
Derrick Rose is Bull. Right now, he's Bull number 3. Zach ain't moved him yet. Zach got to win something.
Zach has moved him for me.
Zach got to win something to move him.
If Zach gets MVP, he's moving him.
If Zach gets MVP, he's moving him. Yeah, but he ain't did it yet. Rose is a top 10 talent, not a top 10 point guard. I say this: Rose's potential that never got achieved.
Yeah,
and I love him. I don't want y'all to think I don't love Derrick Rose. I love Derrick.
We talking about people right now. Like, Skip, you got to go through to say he's a top 10 point guard. You know who you have to move off that list potentially? Let's just get the basics out the way. Magic, Zeke, Kidd, Steph, Stockton. All right, that's 5.
That's 5.
Right?
That's probably my top 5. Who'd you say again? Magic, Zeke, Steph.
I said Magic, Zeke,
you
Kidd.
You said Jason Kidd.
Who did I just say? Magic, Zeke, Kidd,
Steph,
Stockton, and Steph.
Yeah.
That's 5 right there.
That's probably my top 5, honestly.
But Dame is a point guard.
Dame's not over Steph for me.
But Dame is over Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. KJ, the mayor, was absolutely a dog. Gary Payton.
Not top 10, though. Gary Payton's top 10 for me. Yes.
Gary Payton's the only point guard to win Defensive Player of the
Because he
Year.
did it on both ends.
Yeah.
Gary Payton was
average.
on both ends. And Gary Payton was like, I guard Mike. Nah, it didn't go well. But
hey, you gonna be real hard pressed to find someone that he's moved off the top 10. And then we didn't even go to Russ and Oscar Robertson and Steve Nash yet. Like,
Russ is absolutely top 10. Oscar Robertson is absolutely top 10. Are we
CP3?
No, he's not.
Now CP3 is top 10. What are you talking about?
Cap. Hey, listen. If we had a picture of hold up. Top 10, yes. I'm thinking top 5. A lot of people put CP3 top 5. Top 10.
Dog, I was about to log
top 10
up.
I give you. Top 10 I give you. AI. What are we qualifying AI as? AI fans will say AI is a shooting guard.
I would say he's a shooting guard too.
He had a shooting guard on the team though.
Oh, so he's a point guard.
but like Muzz always say that when they be like AI is one of the greatest shooting guards of all time, and I'd be like, but he was a point.
You know what? The person who confused me the most is Jerry West. Jerry West was the first combo guard.
I love, who did Jerry West say that to? Jerry West told, it was Shaq. He told Shaq, because Shaq and Kobe kept getting beat. He said, hey, big fella, don't worry about it. I went to the finals 9 times and I lost 8 of them. He said, dang, you went to the finals 9 times? Who are you? I love that. Shout out to Super Chat. If Rose, I love how this turned into a Rose conversation. This is what I'm saying, man. We just sitting here kicking it with y'all, man. Oh, by the way, before y'all get out of here, 122 people in here. I want to see 122 people on the other side. We probably won't, but I want to see 122 people on the other side. I am live calling the Chicago Sky game tonight. We got our ladies in the finals day. Chicago over everybody. I'm supporting our ladies in here tonight. Y'all tune in and rock with me because this is the first game that the WNBA didn't screw up. Anyway, whole different thing. If Rose would have never had them injuries, then yes, he would be. I agree with
that. Jerry West.
If Derrick Rose, I'll go this far. If Derrick Rose had never had those injuries, Derrick Rose right now would still be the best point guard in the NBA.
Cap.
Hold up.
Derrick Rose doesn't change.
Give it a second. Give it a second. Give it a second.
You definitely tweaking, my dude.
Let me tell you why though. What is it about? It's about him beating the opponent. Why was Mike the greatest shooting guard? One, because it was 1-on-1, and because he dominated every other shooting guard that ever had the nerve to step up against him. He dominated every other small forward that ever had the nerve against him. Hey, Fort Red said, Cap, I'ma head out.
Cap.
No,
Derrick Rose doesn't change Steph from coming on the scene and changing basketball as you know it.
He does not.
Hey, the entire game of basketball shifted because a point guard said, hey, listen, this is 30 feet. No problem. Like that. The game of basketball to this will never be the same because of that one player. Derrick Rose doesn't do that.
But let me say this. Derrick Rose, as we've seen now, was able to evolve his game with where the NBA went. He had his athleticism robbed from him. Steph Curry still changes the game, absolutely. I don't think that changes anything.
Hey, Jeffrey, not only did Jerry West play with black people,
he played
against prime Jerry West in the modern NBA, and he would still be good. Because Jerry West, that 2-dribble pull-up that you saw Mike do, that you see Kobe do,
West.
They got it from Jerry West.
It's Jerry West, yeah. That's
Jerry West's move.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Let's just keep it a buck, because I like I'm not trying to call you out, but I don't like the racial undertone behind it. There's absolutely some white dudes who gave it to some brothers on a regular basis and would still do so.
Larry Bird.
But before Larry Bird was Jerry West.
Hey, look, I do want to say this though. We got to calm down with a lot of stuff, right? So let's talk about what's the big Larry Bird story. And I'm gonna finish my point on Derrick Rose. I'm gonna say why. What's the big Larry Bird story? He scored. What old dudes always say. He played an entire game and scored with his left hand.
He absolutely did.
He did. Right? He did. 98% of those shots are layups. If you can't make a left hand layup, you're not Larry Bird. I went back and looked at him, and I was like 96 to 98 of these shots are layups. He should be able to make some left hand layups.
But it's the amount of layups he got, and then on top of that, how much he
still
scored.
went crazy. He still went crazy, but he was Larry Bird. Larry Bird could get to the bucket whenever he wanted. Tanner, you kind of made it. Shout out to you, though. You kind of made it.
Yeah, Tanner, we got like 10 minutes because we rounded down, dog. Larry Bird, Luka is a Larry Bird.
Woo, that's not bad. No, I'll tell y'all exactly who Luka is, and I don't know how old you are. Was it Ezra? I don't know how old you are, and younger generation definitely don't agree with me. I'll tell you exactly who, not who Larry Bird is. I'll tell you exactly who Luka is. Luka is Paul Pierce. Luka is Paul Benjamin Pierce. I don't know if his middle name Benjamin. I feel like it is, though. He kind of crazy. Muzz, they got the middle name Benjamin. Go look at Paul. Go look at Paul.
So I'm going to act like I'm Jalen Rose here, and I'm going to just read off this list. You ready? Luka right now has pretty much averaged just as many 40-point games as the Truth has averaged his whole career.
Different game. And that's why that's it right there. This is why I don't have a GOAT conversation. Different game. The Luka is playing in a game that mugs have 130 points every single night. Paul played in a game where if you scored 98, you were one of the best teams in the league.
That's a fact.
Different game. Paul Pierce, look at the movements. Look at them. Look at Luka's tape and look at Paul's tape. You know what I'm saying? Like Luka.
The reason I rock what you on is because Paul had moves that worked.
And you looked at him and you said, why does that work?
That shouldn't work.
Why does that work?
And it worked.
Paul Pierce is not the rebounder or playmaker, fam. Paul Pierce had garbage on his team. Name me the 2000 and what year Paul come in?
He came in 99. I could absolutely
99?
name those players. He played with Antoine Walker for one.
No, I'm saying name me the 2002 Celtics. It was a while. I'm gonna say this. Paul was playing for a while before the Celtics got to the point where KG and them was there. I do agree Luka's more of a playmaker. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying look at how their game works. Look at how
you know what? You caught me with that one.
Look at how Paul move. And I be telling us, I be like, y'all want to disrespect Paul because of the ESPN and the bad takes and how and Paul is a competitor. Say, listen, I don't care. You never gonna say I'm not gonna admit that you came out here and bust me out. Like you just dominated me in the playoffs. I'm gonna be like, no, I gave you buckets too. And somebody look, when they go back to the stats though, it look bad. But I get where Paul's coming from.
He played with Joe Johnson, Eric Strickland, who was a dog at the time, Antoine Walker.
What year is that?
That's 01-02. He was an all-star that season too.
01-02, I see it.
Tony Delp.
You said that like you knew who that was.
No, I know who he is. I do know who he is. He was a good defensive player.
Hey, kid, you giving me generics right now.
I don't.
He said, who'd you say? Hold up.
Tony Delk.
Tony who?
Delk.
Tony Delk. Okay, all right. No, I was hey, look. No, I was saying I wanted you to say it from memory. I didn't think you remembered him at that point.
Oh wow.
No, I'm saying people disrespect Paul. Yeah, because of Draymond. Oh, there go the camera. That tells us that we out of here. Go ahead, switch that camera real quick. That people disrespect Paul because of the Draymond thing, because of a lot of the comments that he made there, and a lot of what he said. But if you watch Paul Pierce play the game, Paul Pierce absolutely moves, gets to the bucket, does everything that he has to do, just like Luka Doncic does.
I guess, dog.
We never did get through that top 5 point guard. Excuse me, did someone mention Isaiah? We did, actually. We said 2. He's 2. He's 2. Or do I need to be? No, we said
Magic, 2. Zeke.
Magic, Zeke.
I said Kid, but a Kid ain't that high for me. He really ain't. It was just, I got Magic, I got Zeke, I got Curry. I would put Stockton up there just because he holds 2 records that ain't nobody gonna touch.
Stockton.
Who else?
point guard wise, I mean, it's either the glove or kid for me. Top 5? Unless we're counting AI as a point. If we're counting AI as a point, AI is top 5. Hey, Tony.
Oscar. I mean, Russ will be top.
You know what? Actually, yeah, I'm wrong. Take that back. Oscar. Well, no, did Oscar win? Oscar didn't win a championship, did he? Yes, he did. Oscar won a championship with Kareem. Yes, Oscar Robertson
he does have
Kareem
one with Kareem.
Abdul-Jabbar's point guard. So Oscar Robertson is top 5 for me. And he has been. I mean, he averaged a triple-double at a time where I could punch you in your throat. And actually, some players did.
Okay. Yeah, no, he did. It's 1971.
Yeah. Milwaukee's first championship. So yeah, I mean, listen. So who's got Oscar's bumped probably? That's probably the one that gets bumped because Russ is doing what Oscar did if he gets a championship. Stockton's tough to bump because Stockton holds so many of the records. Steph you can't bump because Steph's the greatest. I mean, he's the greatest point guard of this era. And that absolutely means something for the people that want to say he's not a point. He's not a true point. A true point in this era is Stephen Curry. As much as we want to say it, like Reggie Miller was the anomaly for the 90s, Lonzo Ball's the anomaly.
Is Luka a better point guard?
No, because
Steph?
No, because Luka can't get Kristaps Porzingis involved. I absolutely see why Kristaps want to get up out of there.
If Luka gets a ring, would he be considered a better point guard?
No.
Because he's listed as a point guard.
No. If Luka gets a ring, no. But there's one, Steph has 3. Steph is a major reason why, or no. Yeah, Steph has 3, right? Steph has 3. Steph is the reason why they have 3. The ones that he lost, I think pretty much 2 of them. One of them he was injured for.
Whoa. Let me get this straight. Somebody averages 27, 8, and 8 and gets a ring within his first 5 years at the point guard position, and he wouldn't be a top 10 point guard?
Yeah, top 10. Steph is top 5. I didn't say he's not a top 10 point guard. You asked.
When I say better than, I'm thinking of like the Derrick Rose, Russell Westbrook conversation. Like,
yeah, he's better than them. But it's also, listen, that's the reason I say, listen, let Russell get a ring. What Russell does is we want to discredit it because like he hasn't gotten that playoff win, but Russell Westbrook has been to an NBA Finals and he was a big reason why they got there. Russell Westbrook has been to the Western Conference Finals and he was a big reason why they got there. Like, we discredit him because he didn't win in a Western Conference that Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson and them dominated. But if we're being 100% honest, y'all got to appreciate what this man is doing.
Oh, listen, I don't know why they don't. That's just, it's that light skin energy that they don't like.
He's averaged a triple-double for the last, 4 or 5 years? And the one season he didn't, he missed it by 1 assist. Which means he had mad triple-double. He's doing something that we thought was never going to be done again from Oscar Robertson. And let me tell you something that no player in the NBA is able to do. I don't care who your favorite player is. LeBron. Why can't LeBron average a triple-double? Why can't
I'm gonna go on a limb and I'm gonna just say this. Luka's probably the best player in the NBA, and we don't give him any credit.
See here, this one right here. Hold on. This is my favorite comment.
Empty calories?
Empty calories, right? Go look at his win-loss record.
Whose?
Russell Westbrook's. Go look at his win-loss record. With a triple-double. Tell me where it's empty. He's like 100 games above 500.
He's 100 games above 500, but look at the teams he's played on.
Look at the teams he's played on? What you mean? Like with Kevin Durant? Or are you saying just when he was by himself?
Like he played on a team with Kevin Durant. Like Kevin Durant is 100 games above 500. Like we're not.
But when
you look at the teams he played on, like you're saying you're equating the fact that he had a triple-double as that's the reason they won, when in reality he was on teams where him averaging that triple-double didn't impact whether they won or lost. It just happened.
With Kevin Durant, see this right here. This is dumb. Numbers don't mean a thing. Go look at the wins. Numbers don't mean a thing without a ring. All right. So Karl Malone's numbers don't mean a thing. Hey, kid, one of the best scorers in NBA history. Don't mean a thing, bro.
Hey, top number 2 all time.
Doesn't mean a thing, bro.
Hey, numbers don't mean a thing.
Hey,
John Stockton is the all-time assist leader and steals leader.
John Stockton's numbers mean nothing, bro. Nothing. See, this is the thing that with Russ. See, you see me getting on my soapbox right now. You notice my boy. This is the thing with my boy. This is the thing with Russell Westbrook, right? And we can get in here and we can argue with it. Here we go. Hold up. Here we go. What we got right here? Ricky, those triple doubles not transferring into playoffs because he keeps getting put out in the first round. He's been to the NBA Finals and the Western Conference Finals.
Okay.
That means
he's been to the NBA Finals because of who?
He's been to the NBA fight. Listen, he was a big part of that finals too. You needed both of them. Don't think you didn't need both of them.
Western Conference Finals because of who?
You need both of them. You don't think you need both of them to get to the Western Conference Finals?
Okay, hey, listen. Like I said, my take was that he ended up getting a triple-double, being on teams that would have won regardless.
Well. They've already They've already disproved this, by the way. The reason KD left was Russ. That's absolutely cap. KD already said it wasn't Russ. He just said it was the environment. He didn't feel like it was the right environment for him to win the championship in.
And Jeffrey, we don't laugh at real fan. Like Barkley puts himself in a conversation with Shaq, and Shaq has 4 of them things.
And Barkley,
you sit there and you talk trash to someone who has 4 of them things. That's a whole different ball game.
Hey,
but if Barkley was to sit there and throw his credentials at anybody in the league right now. Like, that's why the whole Draymond thing was disrespectful. It wasn't disrespectful for Draymond. It was disrespectful for Charles Barkley.
Oh, also here. This is a good one. This is my favorite one right here. Hold up. Russ is the reason they lost in the finals.
That's cap.
The reason they lost in the finals is because Scott Brooks could not adjust.
No adjustment. James
and
Harden didn't show up.
By the way, when Russ started getting those triple doubles like that, KD wasn't on the team.
That's a fact.
Hold up. Here we go. I love this. I'm having fun now. He wasn't getting triple doubles like that the year they went to the finals either, fam. Once Durant left, triple doubles came. You know why? Because when Durant left, he was the only one left. James Harden was gone. He still had Kendrick Perkins, and it was Steven Adams.
However,
what did he do besides pass to you?
What you just said tends to lead into empty calories. Because, yeah, he was the only person there, but he made nobody better.
Here's my thing, though, right?
He made nobody better.
Here's my thing, though. Why is it that with Russ, we look at him and we say, you're by yourself, you should do it? Nobody says that with Dame, and let's be real. CJ McCollum is nice, but CJ McCollum is not a number 2. CJ McCollum ain't healthy enough to be a number 2. Dame is doing it by himself. Nobody says, Dame, oh, you should be winning championships by yourself. You put Russ on a team with Bradley Beal, guess what they did? After Russ missed the entire season and Bradley Beal could not win a game, Russell Westbrook showed up, and who made the playoffs? It wasn't the Bulls. I was there watching it. Trust me, I was there.
I'm going to say this.
Hey, look, we said they was going to win 20 games. We said they were going to win 20 more games.
I'm going to say this. I'm not against Russ. I do think the empty calories argument for his triple doubles has a lot of merit, but I also think that even with that being the case, it's still a very hard thing to do. I will put it to you this way. I've always said that if LeBron James did less, he would have won more. I think that absolutely is true when it comes to Russell Westbrook. I think if he did less, he would have won more. Because him chasing those, and there's tape of him chasing that triple double. You can't dispute that. There's tape of him absolutely not allowing his big man to do their job because he wants that triple double. I think that puts, as much as you can say, oh, he's a great guy, stuff like that. That absolutely that doesn't empower your teammates.
No, but what does is when he's driving into the lane and the big man runs the entire floor, and yeah, Russ has easy layup, but he drops it off to Steven Adams to get the dunk because he's respecting the fact that, hey, my big man just ran from one end of the court to the other, and he's big. He don't do this like I do it. And Russ is on both sides of the ball.
That's a take.
What'd he say? Give Dame, Bradley Beal, they might have made the finals last year. Wrong. Cap. You know why? Bradley Beal couldn't win a game in the regular season, and he was putting up 50. He put up 50 how many games in a row and they lost?
Russ is your dude.
Russ is my dude. I'm gonna stand on it.
Russ is your dude.
Listen, like Kyrie, like you stand on Kyrie's hill, I'm standing on the Russ hill. I will fight everybody off alone. Hey, look, we gonna get up out of here, man. We didn't win a whole extra 40 minutes that we were supposed to go on and now we talking about Russ. We talking about the Bulls. Hey, listen, I'm gonna put this up on the podcast page too. We ain't been doing the podcast as much because we've been doing more of a live show kind of feel, like a actual TV show. And I don't think that translates to audio well. If y'all want podcasts, let me know. I'll put it up. If y'all want me to start posting more podcast type stuff, if y'all want the podcast, we can put it up there. I just really feel like it doesn't translate well when you listen to it. But I'll say that we talking about practice, Ricky. Yes, we talking about practice. The Chicago Sky game starts at 8. I'm going to be live for that. Kid, are you pulling up with me or are you getting up out of here?
You got to let me think about that one, dog.
Hey, let him think about it. That's all good. That's all good. Hey, look, if you hate women, it's okay. No, I'm just playing. But no, the Chicago Sky game starts at 8. I am going to be live for that. Y'all get in tune with that. We appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us this long. It's still 113 people in here. Shout out to y'all for pulling up and rocking with us, man. Shout out to everybody who
Hey, real quick, do y'all like these, like, when we just talking? Do y'all like this format?
Hey, listen, whether they like it or not, they about to get it.
No, I just got to know, do they like it?
Hey, look, it don't matter if they like it or not. They about to get it. I'm telling you. There's something in the works. We're going to talk about it off mic. We appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us, man. Hey, yo, Chicago. It's your boy, Panther Designer, back at it again. If y'all haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Check the links in the description below to continue watching our Chicago Bulls content. Hey, yo, Chicago, y'all stay safe out there, man. Peace.